Hello there, everybody. And today, for my movie review of this week, I'm doing The Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. So you're probably wondering, why am I reviewing the Pirates movies? Well, I've recently finished Lego Pirates of the Caribbean on the Wii, and I thought since I finished that game, I will reward myself by reviewing the first movie. And I gotta say, this is easily one of the best underrated franchises in my opinion, because I really do like the lore of the Pirates of the Caribbean, especially with the amazing Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow. I feel like this universe that it was trying to build a franchise. Disney was trying to do this own adventure pirate movie, kind of like how big Star Wars is, or I don't know, the Marvel Universe before the MCU. Back then, we had this movie, and there's been 5 total movies of the Pirates of the Caribbean, and there's been Lego sets, the Lego game, like I said, and I recently even got a Lego Jack Sparrow Lego, and I really like it. But this movie is really good. It has such an amazing cast, and there's a really great story, because usually people view pirates as just like stuff for little kids, but the way they did these movies, it can truly respect the lore of the Pirates of the Caribbean, since this is a big franchise. I mean, not as big as Star Wars, but it feels like it can be its own franchise in itself. But basically, it's about Captain Jack Sparrow going up against Jeffrey Rush's character. So yeah, I got the characters. Hector Barsom, who is looking for these gold tokens that can basically help them become immortal. I'm pretty sure it's a bit confusing for me, but probably the best scene in this movie is Jack Sparrow, who sails on his boat, and that scene is easily one of the best. And we hear the Hans Zimmer score; it just really works, and that's like our introduction to our character. But Jack is mainly viewed as a criminal by most people, and he mainly just has to go around getting chased around by the various goons, who I think this does take place in the 1700s, but once we do get into that sword fight, but when we meet Will Turner, played by Orlando Bloom, who was probably making the Lord of the Rings movies, but while making this movie, since this did come out in 2003, that's where Return of the King came out as well. But once we get into that sword fight, it really worked. I even loved playing it in the Lego game. But as things go wrong, Jack does get arrested and he's put into a cell. But of course, the main person that is targeted is Elizabeth Swann, played by Keira Knightley. I thought she was Natalie Portman for a second when I was watching these movies back in the day, but then I realized it was not Natalie Portman. But Elizabeth is targeted by the Jeffrey Rush's pirate crew because she has something she got when she was a little girl. It was a doubloon that basically can have immortality for the pirates, and he basically kidnaps her. Well, she allows herself to get kidnapped, and Will Turner basically tries to rescue her, but he gets knocked out. So he is forced to team up with Jack to go find Elizabeth, and they basically form a crew of Jack's various friends. And this is where we meet probably my favorite right-hand man for Jack Sparrow. It is Gibbs, played by Kevin McNally. We also see Zoe Saldana in this movie. I honestly forgot she was in this movie, since I mainly know her as a Gamora, and I think this is her only appearance in this movie. But there's a bunch of other crew members, of course, and they're iconic. I even like collecting them in the Lego game. But once Jack has his crew, he basically is going to set sail on his next adventure to go after Jeffrey Rush, who turns out the biggest twist of this movie is that his entire crew can turn into skeletons. And I thought the effects on the skeletons look really good. But a lot of wild things do happen in this movie. They basically do find Elizabeth on the ship. And basically, I'm kind of jumping a bit, but Will basically threatens to kill himself just to save Elizabeth's life because he does love her. I do like the connection between Will and Elizabeth. It was always a cute relationship in my opinion. But basically, Jack and Elizabeth, after a big battle on the boat, very entertaining swashbuckling scenes. They're basically forced to go to an island. And Jack basically hangs out with Elizabeth, and their connection's pretty wild. They even get drunk at the beach for some reason. But the main thing that the Jeffrey Rush does find is a whole pile of gold that can basically keep him from turning into a skeleton. And basically, the finale all takes place in this cave where Jack and Elizabeth do get rescued by Elizabeth's father, but they decide before they can turn Jack in, they must stop Jeffrey Rush, and they basically rescue Will. And that basically what happens. It leads to a great finale, and that theme music of the pirate theme is always really good to hear. That theme is just always iconic to hear. But it all leads to a big battle, and the problem I more wilder scenes where Jack basically he gets stabbed by Jeffrey Rush, and he basically just is able to survive his wound by going into the shadow and basically become a skeleton, and it's wild. And he survives his wound, but the only way to break the curse of the Black Pearl is to drop a little bit of blood, and Will basically sacrifices some blood from Jeffrey Rush during the fight, and he gets shot and he dies instantly. But spoilers, he doesn't actually die since he comes back in the next movie. But basically, after all that's been going on, Jack is basically forced to get hung. I'm surprised they showed this in a Disney movie. But Jack basically does try to find... He doesn't even have his own way of getting out of this situation until Will has a change of heart during the hanging. He basically throws his sword like he did earlier in the movie with the fight with Jack, and he basically prevents Jack from getting hung. And Jack is basically able to escape and return back to his crew, making his next move, and Elizabeth and Will, of course, kiss. And it's just really well done. The way the movie ends with Jack entering his next adventure with his compass. So this movie was really good. Just a 10 out of 10 movie. Is the perfect Disney movie, in my opinion, back in the day. But a lot of people don't like the other sequels for some reason. I actually do like them. I don't really care for the fourth one or the fifth one. But the other three Pirates movies are definitely some of the best, in my opinion. Got the really good villain with Jeffrey Rush. You can tell he's having fun with this role, just over the top. And he actually says R like a pirate. It sounds really good. And Johnny Depp is easily amazing as Jack Sparrow. I couldn't really see anyone else playing this character. He just has that charm to the character that just really works. And I do like the chemistry between him and Orlando Bloom. Like, I like how Will is the confident swordsman who practices 3 hours a day, and there's Jack Sparrow, who's the troublemaker pirate. But there's just a lot of good lore and twists with this whole movie overall. So I don't know if we're gonna review the other sequels. I'll definitely do it in the future whenever I make the time. But it's that time of year since it's the Halloween season. I'm excited to talk about various Halloween movies for October. So I'll probably be busy, but I'll do my best to review them. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.